Welcome everyone to the captive audience. It is the 26th of May, 2025, Memorial Day. And of course, this is an important day for our nation in so many ways, particularly since this is how we remind the many generations that have passed and will pass into the future that freedom is not free. It had a price. And as the saying goes, all gave some, but some gave all. I believe that was from World War II. And it was impressive today. I had the opportunity to attend the Linn County Veterans Memorial Association Memorial Day event at it was at the Timberland Memorial Park. And it featured a very good guest speaker that I think you'll enjoy hearing from here shortly. And I'll also share with you some of the other video and scenes from today's memorial event. This is something you can share with people, especially ones that you think might not have had the opportunity to attend one of these events. It will remind them exactly why we have a Memorial Day. And it's different than Veterans Day. Veterans Day, which is actually marks the end of World War I, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, when the World War I drew to a close and there was an armistice, and that it ended that. And that transformed into what became Veterans Day, which remembers all veterans who served. Memorial Day is specifically focused on those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom, and those missing in action who that I'm shocked actually at how many are still missing in action from wars that seemingly we would have found just about everybody by now, but it's not true. There are many, many folks that do not come back from wars, and their families never know what really happened to them. Tonight I'm going to start with the featured keynote speaker at this event. She is a retired Air Force colonel who ran for the 4th Congressional District in 2024 to unseat Val Hoyle. She wasn't successful. She did very, very well, fought extremely hard, raised a lot of money, and fought for our values and principles. And she has every reason to be proud of what she did, because it wasn't really coming back to serve our country again. But she continues her work not only on behalf of the values and principles we share and fighting for them, but also specifically for her fellow veterans. And so I want to share with you today this video, and I hope you find it very meaningful, and then I'll go on and explain some of the rest of the event.
Had a distinguished career serving our nation for 30 years in the United States Air Force, Air Force Reserve, and the Oregon National Guard with the 142nd. She served primarily in the Judge Advocate General Corps in various locations and deployments, including Singapore, Bosnia, Kosovo, Cyprus, Italy, the Pentagon, and here in Oregon. Ma'am?
Good morning, and thank you for the honor of joining you here on this Memorial Weekend. In Linn County, we are surrounded by patriotism, history, and sacrifice. Across our communities, families have lived lives touched by military service. Here at the Linn County Veterans Memorial, 202 names are etched in stone. These are not just names. They represent fathers and sons, daughters and mothers, friends and neighbors. They are part of our story. They are part of your story. This Memorial Day, we gather as a nation, as a community, to remember and to say their names. Say their name. It's more than a theme. It's a solemn commitment to remembrance. Because when we speak their names, we give life to their memory. We acknowledge their sacrifice was not in vain. We carry their stories forward so the next generation understands the cost of freedom that they enjoy. We especially lift up those who were killed in action, whose final breath was taken in service to others, and those who are still missing in action, whose families continue to live in uncertainty, but never in forgetfulness. Their names belong in our hearts, in our homes, and in the civic life of our community. When we say their names, we do more than remember, we honor. And in that honor, we find our own purpose. Some years ago, I had the opportunity to visit the D-Day landing beaches in Normandy. I stood in silence, facing the ocean where young Americans, some not even 20 years old, charged into fire and chaos and almost certain death. I walked among rows of headstones at the Normandy American Cemetery, 9,388 graves, and on a wall nearby the names of 1,557 Americans who are still missing. I did not know them personally, but I read many of their names and I whispered them aloud. I imagined their lives, their letters home, the dreams they left unfinished. I thought of their families who waited and grieved and carried on. I thought about all that was lost and all that was made possible by their sacrifice. And as General John Pershing said, time will not dim the glory of their deeds. And that is why we gather today, not just to mourn, but to recognize the immensity of what we've been given and what it cost to say out loud the names of people from our community and never let their glory dim. Sylvan Poole, a Navy veteran whose name was initially missing from this memorial. It was his brother Garner Poole who discovered the omission and took action. Garner's efforts led to the formation of our Linn County Veterans Memorial Association, ensuring that not only Sylvan's name, but those of others that were overlooked veterans, that they are rightfully honored here. Another local hero is Edward C. Allworth, a World War I Medal of Honor recipient from our area. His bravery in France, where he led his men across a canal under heavy fire to capture enemy positions, is legendary. Today, the Oregon's Veteran Home in Lebanon bears his name and serves as a testament to his valor and our community's commitment to honoring our veterans. We also remember Del Riley, who served in the 10th Mountain Division during World War II and later became Linn County's clerk. Wounded in Italy, he was awarded the Purple Heart. Del's dedication to public service continued long after the war, exemplifying the enduring spirit of our veterans. And we remember Michael Guy Bilyeu, who died while a prisoner of war in North Korea in 1950. He was just 19 years old when he made his ultimate sacrifice for this nation and all that this country stands for. And his family experienced and endured their unimaginable loss. These stories remind us that behind every name on our memorials lies a tale of courage, sacrifice, and service. Not every service member goes to the front lines, but every service member accepts and prepares for that moment when the call may come. Not everyone storms a beach or parachutes behind enemy lines, but every service member serves with purpose and commitment. Every role, whether in a cockpit, a motor pool, a medical tent, or a mess hall, supports the mission and supports those who face danger directly. We have lost too many to safety mishaps and political miscalculations. The pain of these losses is ever present and must never be forgotten. In a broader sense, every American has a role to play. Just as no warfighter stands alone, no nation can survive without its people standing up, each in their own way, to uphold the values we claim to cherish. Some serve in uniform, others serve in public office, in volunteer work, in teaching, in advocacy, in raising good and principled children. And all of us, no matter our background or beliefs, can serve by living lives worthy of the sacrifices made on our behalf. In Linn County, that service is visible. It's the families who tend to the wall. It's in the civic groups who organize these ceremonies. It's in the neighbors who help a veteran get to a doctor's appointment, or who teach the children of fallen soldiers about duty and honor. This day is sacred, but so is what we do with the rest of the year. Memorial Day is not just about honoring the dead one day a year. It's about how we live every day. It's about the legacy we leave and the gratitude we show by standing up when we are called, however we are called. So today, as we stand in the presence of their names, let us say the names with reverence. Let us live in a way that speaks to their sacrifice. Let us teach their stories. Let us fight peacefully and civilly and passionately for the ideals they died protecting. To the Gold Star families here today, you carry a burden the rest of us can only try to understand. But know this, your loved one's name is not forgotten. Your loved one's sacrifice is not forgotten. They are not forgotten. As we conclude, I want to leave you with this. If we don't say their names, who will? If we do not defend what they died for, who will? And if we do not serve in our own way, according to our own conscience, our ability, and our moment in history, then how can we ever be worthy of their gift? Ask yourselves this after you leave this ceremony today. What will you personally do to show your gratitude for your neighborhood, for Linn County, the Linn County community, for your nation? What will you do to honor those who have sacrificed everything to protect this nation and everything that it stands for? I urge you to do what you can. Do what you can. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for remembering, and thank you for saying their names. May God bless our fallen heroes, their families, Linn County, and the United States of America.
So that was retired Marine Colonel or Air Force Colonel Monique DeSpain, and with her remarks today. And next is a video. It's very brief that shows you what they did, and as part of this commemoration, it really struck me because I knew that the walls and you can kind of see over my left shoulder, the wreaths in the background, which I'll explain here shortly in the next segment of this show. But over my left shoulder, you can see a wall, and it has little bricks on it. And those bricks are the names of each of the fallen from the various wars, with their name and the war that they died in. And they're commemorated all around the memorial park there. And that was the setting for today. What they did is they read out all the names, and it's really quite lengthy. And I realized as I was getting into it, because I didn't pay attention to what the order was, that it seemed like there had been quite a few names. And then I noticed, given my last name begins with an H, that we were just in the H's as they read them off. And behind every single one of these names was a family, a loved one, someone who didn't get to see them again, that understands the true impact of their sacrifice way better than any of us really could, that didn't serve and didn't obviously give that kind of a sacrifice. So what do we owe them? Anyway, have a listen to just a brief section of the names being read today.
Jennings, World War II. Calvin C. Jennings, World War II. Edward Johnson, World War II. Lathan D. Jones, World War II. Kenneth Keene, World War II. Richard Keene, World War II. Ronald J. Kesey, Korean War. Max D. Kennedy, World War II. Lawrence A. Kirsch, World War II.
Larry D. Knight, Vietnam War.
Let's see if I can. I'm back, and this is. I want to share with you now an example of. Let me see if I can make this a little bit easier for you to see. Oh, there we go. All right. And so these are some of the photos from today that I wanted to share you from the park. And I think you noticed that they were reading off what war people have perished in that are commemorated here. And there were a lot of World War II, unbelievable number of World War II that really stood out to me. But then interspersed in there were all these other wars. Anyway, now I'd like to share with you some of the photos from today. This is kind of a wide shot of the group of folks that were there, the commander that was heading up this effort today and was the MC, Colonel DeSpain, who you can see there, the mayor of Albany, who spoke actually of his of a friend of his that was in high school with him and went into the Marine Corps. Nicest guy, he said, long distance runner in high school. And in 1983, he walked us through what happened in the Marine barracks in Beirut when his friend was killed, along with, I think it was 232 other Marines. And it was moving. Today is when people feel those feelings all over again. Every year it comes back. And I really appreciated him sharing that story. He served also, I think he said it was in the Navy. I could be wrong. I'll have to check that. I apologize, Mr. Mayor, if I didn't get that right, but you did mention that you had also served for, I think, about 10 years. And then to the mayor's right is the pastor who also spoke to us today and gave the opening prayer. And then next to him is Commissioner Sherry Springer, a former state representative, a Republican that I happen to know, who I hadn't seen in many years, but she spoke and gave some very meaningful remarks. And she said that yesterday she was someplace with with her family, with her husband and some of the kids, and they were just enjoying this location that happened to be a field nature area. And she found herself pausing and thinking for a moment, what if this were a battlefield? What would our lives be like? And she said it reminded her of just how much these who gave all have done for us to make it so that actually we just live our lives peacefully and enjoy them. And we're not in the midst of a constant battlefield here, and we owe that to the people we remember today. And then to her right is the chaplain, I believe. I don't know if he's from the American Legion. I do have the program here, so I should actually check that. Oh, this is that's Major Chaplain Dennis Stallnecker, retired Oregon Army National Guard. The invocation was an elder from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, David Weigert, and the commander, Master Chief, retired Master of Ceremonies, U.S. Navy, David Busby, and then the mayor. Let me just see here. Mayor Alex Johnson II of Albany. So anyway, this is just kind of the backdrop that you can see of all the walls that have the names on them commemorating the fallen in the background. This was the junior ROTC color guard. They did a fantastic job. Very impressive young kids who obviously worked very hard at this and did a fabulous job. This was one of the Gold Star moms. She actually carried up the wreath. I believe, as I recall, her son, let's see, Terry Thorpe, mother of Lance Corporal Tyler J. Troyer, U.S. Marine Corps, killed in action in Iraq, November 19th, 2005. That was... Yeah, you could see the emotion in her face, and of course, accompanied by a Marine putting that wreath there. The next wreath was placed there by Zach Draper, U.S. Army, served 2 tours in Iraq. This is on behalf of prisoners of war and MIA, missing in action wreath. And then the final wreath was Dean Booth, U.S. Army Reserve, a founding executive board member of the Linn County Veterans Memorial Association. And these are the 3 wreaths, which you can actually see in my background as well. And then waiting off in the distance, and I'll play this as we conclude the show tonight, was Taps, played by the bugler Jenny Carl. And this is some of the folks that helped put the event together and organize it, that are associated with the Memorial Society there, along with retired Air Force Colonel Monique DeSpain. Sorry, there were a lot of Marines there. So anyway, so now I'd like to conclude the show tonight with the final part of the ceremony, the playing of Taps, Memorial Day 2025. Let's remember all of those who have fallen and never forget.
Honor of Private First Class Michael G. Billiou.